Hey, what's up, guys? This is basically a video I'm going to dedicate to responding to what I saw in the comment sections of my first PSP2 versus 3DS video. I saw a lot of things in the comment sections that just made me sad. Just screw it. Let's just get right into it. Guys, dual stick analog is not innovative. It's not. That's not innovation, guys. Dual stick analog is something we've been experiencing for years. 4 years. And yes, it's on because I was playing some Killzone 3. That's not innovation. And I can't believe some of you were in the comment sections actually trying to tell me that what's so innovative about the PSP2 is the fact that it has dual analog. And then a lot of you said that, and you were talking about how with the DS, you know, it doesn't have dual stick analog. So this either tells me either two things. One, you have never played a DS shooter in your life, or two, you completely just ignore the fact you know it, but you just completely ignore the fact that you know that DS owners just use the touchscreen as a second analog stick, basically. A more precise one at that. Now, which one you prefer, that's your opinion, but when it comes to precision, this touchscreen is actually more precise. And a lot of you were talking about, well, Shokyo, if you use the stylus, you know, use the touchscreen to aim, you can no longer use those buttons. And see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like you guys act like you've never played a DS shooter. Maybe you haven't. But a lot of you know good and well, when it comes to a DS shooter, that because you can't touch the buttons when you use the touchscreen, the developers put the buttons on the touchscreen itself. You have an area that's dedicated to the aiming, and then like to the top or to the left or something, there'll be different buttons for like switching weapons and, you know, stuff like that. And you jump by double tapping the touchscreen. You guys know this. So don't try to act like DS owners had to use buttons like PSP owners did with their shooters. That was complete another crap, by the way. Although I like Medal of Honor Heroes 2. For some reason, the aiming on that game felt good on PSP. But yeah, guys, dual stick analog, I can't believe you guys thought that was so innovative, guys. It's something we've seen for the longest. The longest. And while it hasn't been on a handheld, we still had similar controls with the DS anyways. Second thing I saw, the touchpad on the back. A lot of you try to say that the touchpad on the back was its gimmicky selling point. Really, guys? Really? The touchpad on the back. So, you mean to tell me this is a cool way to play your handheld games? Caressing the back of your system like it turns you on or something? Oh yeah, DS. Oh yeah. Play your PSP2 in public, touching the back of your system. People gonna look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They are. They're gonna back their kids away from you and everything. But here's the thing that just gets me the most. You guys downplay 3D with no glasses, but you make a touchpad on the back of the system. You make it sound like it's the greatest thing since Gatorade. Does that make any sense, guys? Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. If 3D with no glasses is cool, if adding depth to your games is not cool, how is having a touchpad on the back of your system cool? Exactly. And that's why so many people call you guys drones, because anything Sony does, you guys make it out to be a godsend. You guys know good and well if 3DS fans bragged about having a touchpad on the back of 3DS and how we can control certain, you know, functions with a touchpad, you guys know good and well you would call that gay. You know you would. You know you would. Don't try to tell me that's the gimmicky selling point, guys. When I made that point, what did I say? I said, what does the PSP2 have that's going to make people sit there and see a commercial and say, that's awesome, I've never seen that before, I want that. Now with that thought in mind, do you really think a touchpad on the back of the system is going to make people say, oh, I want that? No, people, no. And I know the PSP2 has like the grooves right here, but some people, they're going to accidentally touch it. They are. It's going to get in the way sometimes. People are going to accidentally touch the touchpad sometimes, guys. But I mean, it's not new technology. It's not new technology. It's a touch screen on the back of the system, except for the fact that it's not a screen. You know, it's just the touch part. It's nothing new. It's not huge. It's not innovative. That is not a selling point, people. It's not. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. A lot of you still brought up the 3G, like I always say, guys. Mostly everything you guys say in the comment sections, I could just counter you guys by just listing a time in my video for you to click on and just watch that part over again. I can, because I already handled the 3G argument, but actually left out something related to the 3G. If you try to turn 3G on, let's say you're playing Call of Duty on the go, you're playing 3G, say goodbye to your battery life, excuse me. Say goodbye to it. Say goodbye to your battery life. Because the PSP2 is already a strong system, and then with 3G, playing online, exchanging data and everything, say goodbye to your battery life because it's going to get raped. It is going to get raped. A lot of you still brought up the GPS. It's like you guys didn't even watch the video. You guys saw the title of the video. Maybe some of you watched 5 seconds. But other than that, all you guys did was list the same things over and over and over again. You said, great graphics, GPS, 3G, touchpad. You all just said the same exact thing. And hardly any of you actually numbered my points and tried to argue with them. For those of you who did, thank you. And I respect you for actually giving me a decent debate, for trying to argue. But for the rest of you who didn't watch the video, didn't pay attention to the point, skimmed through the video, and just listed things that I already handled, you did nothing for yourself. You did nothing. Nothing for yourself, nothing for Sony, nothing for the PSP2, nothing for me. I like a good debate, people, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, the GPS thing, like I said, I could just use my phone. A lot of you talking about, well, not everybody has a phone that can have a GPS on it, Shokyo. Guys, if you guys can afford a $400 system, do you see where I'm getting at? If you could afford a $400 system, then you should be able to afford a phone that has GPS. You see what I'm saying? If you guys could buy a second PS3, because that's what the PSP2 is. It's basically like having a second PS3, except that it's a handheld. If you guys could afford a $400 system, of course that's not the confirmed price. That's just my, estimate of how much it will cost. Even if it's $300, my point still stands. If you could afford another PS3 like that, you should be able to afford a phone with GPS. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, of course, a phone is something everybody always carries around with them. So you always have that anyways. So don't try to say GPS like that's such a huge advantage over the 3DS, because it's not. Guys, this is a smartphone right here. And it's not even it's not an HTC, it's not an iPhone 4. But this one right here cost me $30 with a 2-year plan. Without the 2-year plan, it was like $99. Still not that expensive. This phone right here has everything. GPS even has 3G hotspot. So if I want to play a game on the go when I'm not around an access point on my 3DS, I could do that. Because I can activate the 3G hotspot on my phone and start playing online on my 3DS. Phones with GPSs are very affordable these days, people. GPS is nothing new. That's not new technology. It's been out for a while. Moving on. For those of you who just, I don't know why, but like a lot of people just typed in, "You're wrong," and just clicked the add comment button. A lot of you just said that. What am I wrong about, people? Like, honestly, tell me, is the PSP2 gonna beat the 3DS? Is it? You honestly think it is? Honestly. Do you honestly think the 3DS is gonna beat, the PSP2 is gonna beat the 3DS? Do you honestly think that? Honestly. Exactly. You know good and well the 3DS is going to win. You guys know it. So don't tell me I'm wrong, people. You don't tell me I'm wrong. Now, you could try to argue the separate individual points that I made, but they all added up to the point that the 3DS is going to destroy the PSP2. It's going to win. Are you really going to sit here and argue that? Think about it, people. The successor to the DS versus the successor to the PSP. Which one is going to win? Come on, people. Come on. Oh my god, and this is just really hypocritical. A lot of people, I'm not talking about you, Super Rock, but whatever your name is, a lot of people talked about, you talk about how Sony fanboys eat everything up Sony does. Well, how about the DS Lite, and the DSi, and the DSi XL, and now the 3DS? This comes from a Sony fanboy. As if the PSP 1000 doesn't exist, the PSP 2000 doesn't exist, the PSP 3000 doesn't exist, and the PSP Go doesn't exist, and now the PSP 2. But because Sony made a bunch of remodels, it's fine. That's fine. Because Sony did it, right? Nintendo, bad. Sony, good. Nintendo, bad. Right? And that's exactly how your mind frames are, and it's sad. It really is sad. And then a lot of you bought the PS3 Slim when you already had a PS3. So don't try to come at me telling me Nintendo fans eat everything Nintendo puts out, because they put out 3 revisions of the DS or whatever, when you guys had pretty much, you know, just as many revisions with the PSP, and a lot of you bought a PS3 Slim for no reason. Like literally for no reason, you bought a PS3 Slim. Now that, of course, that's not all of you. Some of you had your reasons, but you know, a lot of you just bought a PS3 Slim just because it was a PS3 Slim, like just cause. A lot of you, more hypocrisy right here. A lot of you were talking about I can't compare the 3DS to the PSP2. Now, firstly, in the beginning of that video, I said that everything I'm going to talk about is based off what's announced, and that's really all I can, you know, base my arguments off of, people. I mean, yes, I am saying that the 3DS is going to beat the PSP2, guys, but that's something we should all be able to accept, people. Really, like I said, think about this: the successor to the DS versus the successor to the PSP. Which one do you think is going to win? But a lot of you talk about I can't compare the 3DS to the PSP2 because it's not a finished product. But when the PSP2 was first announced, the NGP, what did you guys say NGP stood for? Exactly. Nintendo got pweened or pwned, however you pronounce it, because I don't use that word. You guys are talking about how it's going to destroy the 3DS. A Sony handheld destroying a Nintendo handheld. Guys, isn't that hilarious? PC guys, isn't that hilarious? 360 guys, isn't that hilarious? Wii guys, isn't that hilarious? For you sensible PS3 owners out there, like 7th level, isn't that hilarious? You guys honestly think some of you honestly think the PSP2 is going to beat the 3DS. So, but you see the hypocrisy there. I can't compare the 3DS to the NGP, but you guys can compare the NGP to the 3DS. You know, you guys can do that, and you can say it's going to win, but I can't say the 3DS is going to win, of course. And lastly, downloading PSP games, that's not backwards compatibility, guys. That's emulation. Backwards compatibility is when I can take the physical media, stick it in the system, and play it. I have Mortal Kombat 2 on my PC. Always play with Nigga Dick Jacks. Is that backwards compatibility with Genesis games? No. That's emulation. It's not the same thing, people. I heard somewhere you have to pay for it again anyways or something like that. I'm not sure, but guys, that's not real backwards compatibility. You know good and well what backwards compatibility is. Don't try to change it to where it's convenient for you. Don't change the definition of it. So that's it for the whole PSP 3DS thing for now. You know, I'm gonna do some fun videos. You know, kind of get out of the argument at once for a while, but that's for this video. I'll see you guys later.